Hello, am I live? Yeah, okay. It said 0 for the time, so I was like, then jump to 11. Okay. Hi, Fremont Lee here. Views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the person saying it's me, Fremont Lee. Hi. Hope all is well with you. I hope you're having a good day, good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on whatever time you happen to be watching this. It is 8:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as I am live streaming this. So you may be watching it later, and that's fine. That's okay. I don't mind. I didn't do a video yesterday, so I apologize for that. And happy belated birthdays for October 27th. Uh, Going out to my late grandfather, Walter Kokenauer, who passed away. I'm not sure exactly when. Uh, it may have been 6 to 8 months after my grandmother had passed away. I don't want to bring people down, and I apologize for that, but his birthday was October 27th. Also celebrating birthdays on October 27th were John Cleese, Robert Picardo, producer Ivan Reitman, Simon Le Bon from the band Duran Duran, Marla Maples, Roberto Benigni, Kelly Osbourne, Ted Wass, who was on Blossom. I believe he was the dad. Jane Kennedy, Fran Lebowitz, Brian Levinson, who played Michael, the older brother in the movie Matilda, 1996. Singer Lee Greenwood, to the late Ruby Dee, Nanette Fabray, Scott Weiland, the 26th U.S. President, Theodore Roosevelt. According to the trivia on IMDb, he did not like being called Teddy. His brothers, their family, whatever, did not call him Teddy. They knew he did not like that. Producer Harry Saltzman, who produced, or one of the producers of Dr. No, 1962, You Only Live Twice, 1967. He did other movies also. And author Sylvia Plath. She wrote The Bell Jar. I've never read it. I know Julia Stiles has been trying to get a movie made of The Bell Jar, and I don't know if she's succeeded. That was out of the top 150 of 1,117. That was the birthdays for October 27th. This, of course, is October 28th, 2020. I am Fremont Lee. Hi. Birthdays for today, October 28th. Annie Potts, who was on the show Designing Women. And, well, thank you for calling Ghostbusters. She was the receptionist in Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, the original 1984 movie. Joan Plowright, I should have said her first, as I believe she was more of a more seniority of. Anyway, Thelma Hopkins, Dennis Franz, Lauren Holly, Joaquin Phoenix, Julia Roberts, Matt Smith, who was Doctor Who, Jamie Gertz, Daphne Zuniga, who was in Spaceballs, Jim Turner, who was in the movie Joe's Apartment, 1996. He had a character that he played on MTV. I can't remember his name. Randy. It's like, hey, kind of a beach bum stoner kind of something, I think. Brad Paisley, Simon Rhee, Troy Ann Belisario, Andy Richter, Mark Derwin, who played Jack Gaines, Bartleby's dad in the movie Accepted, 2006. I've always wanted them to do a sequel. They could have done one. Uh, although not, I know not every movie needs a sequel, but no. Galina Jojovic, Bill Gates, Justin Guarini from Justin to Kelly, the movie they did. They whatever. Roy Rogers Jr. and to the late George Buck Flower. He was the bum in Back to the Future. Yeah, pedestrians. That was the sequel, Back to the Future Part Two, where Marty bumps into him and he's like, because anyway, Jack Sue, who was on Barney Miller, he was also in Return to Witch Mountain. I believe that was the sequel. Edith Head, not production, clothes. She did the costumes and whatnot. Dodie Goodman, who was in the movie Grease, 1978. She appeared in Grease 2 as well. Douglas Seal, who was the voice of the Sultan in Aladdin, 1992. And he was in the movie Ernest Saves Christmas, 1988. That was out of the top 100 of 1,203. My work went well last night. I was in Derry. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't put me somewhere else. I know. It's didn't get the backstock. We had a skid in the cooler, plus I think 4 L carts. Skid of juice and 2 L carts of juice. Butter biscuit carts. I think there were 2, may have been 3, and 2 yogurt carts. And I'm not sure how much cheese we had. I think there were 3 of them, but it was a lot. Not as much as usual, but or as sometimes, because sometimes we just get 5 skids, and they're big. Last night we received I believe 10. Varying sizes. Some of them were like, just waist high to me. Some were like above my head. I'm like, so it was like varying degrees. The last one we received was on the trailer. Oh, ended up being pulled off about 5:40 in the this morning. So ended up working that. There was some yogurt, there was some cheese, yogurt, butter, and some sour cream, cottage cheese packet things in it. Anyway, last night was good. I had a good night. I know my coworker was kind of like had no energy. But he kicked ass as always because that's what he does. He does great work. There was one lady, a young lady that works there. It's like she does one section in a different part of the grocery area, and then she'll come over and help bust out that section and move on to a third one. And I made the mistake of telling my one supervisor, who recently has moved on to another job somewhere else. I made the mistake of telling him, "Man, I wish I worked as well as she does." To which he responded, "So do I." I get the work done. It's there are days it's just overwhelming. So it's like It's like I can't, it happens. I'm good. I have two movies I want to talk about. Brain Donors, VHS. Look at that. Stars John Turturro, Mel Smith, Bob Nelson. What else have they been in? John Turturro, of course, was in Quiz Show. He played not Paisley. Monk's brother on the show Monk. He's Adrian Monk, and the brother is I want to say it's a type of fabric, which I'm not sure, or a design of a fabric. I don't know. It's kind of a Marx Brother type movie. Mel Smith, of course, he was the albino in The Princess Bride, the late Mel Smith. I'm sure he's done other things. I just can't think of any of them. Dennis Dugan. It's a film by Dennis Dugan, but it's a Zucker Brothers production, who, of course, did Airplane. It's called Brain Donors. I thought it was funny. I'm not sure where I saw it or when I. Okay, copyright 1992. I want to say I saw a preview for it somewhere on another movie, which kind of blew my mind because I used to watch a lot of movies like every day. My days off from work, I'd go home, I'd go to the video store or whatever, I'd go to the mall, check out a movie, watch a movie. I'd go to the mall to watch a movie at the theater, or go to a different theater and watch a movie there. Or I would go rent movies at a video place. Excuse me. And I saw this somewhere, and I was like in a preview, and I was like, so I saw so I watched it. I found it. I was able to find it at Suncoast Videos at the Briarwood Mall, which that store is no longer there. It's like all the video places aren't there anymore. Although it's been a long time since I've been at the mall at Briarwood in Ann Arbor, so I don't know what is still there. I know Farrell's used to be there. Then it was an iron-on T-shirt for like iron-on stuff. That was no longer there. Farrell's, of course, the ice cream place. I don't know if anyone remembers that. According to this, from the Zucker brothers, the creators of the Naked Gun and Airplane films, comes the year's most outrageous laugh fest featuring the zaniest green screwballs since the brothers Marx. Excuse me, I had to write that right. Write that right? I needed to read that right. The Brain Donors. High society meets high hilarity when rich widow Lillian Oglethorpe, played by Nancy Marchand, hires fast-talking, ambulance-chasing lawyer Roland T. Flackfleiser, John Turturro, Jesus in The Big Lebowski, doing a bowling ball, as her legal advisor. His first assignment to fulfill Mr. Oglethorpe's dream of founding a ballet company. Flackpfizer recruits two unable assistants, Jacques, played by Bob Nelson, who was the boyfriend to what's her face in Kindergarten Cop, because uh, Arnold is the main cop who ends up becoming the Kindergarten Cop. But the lady, his partner, was supposed to be, but she got sick, so she couldn't do it. So he had to go in. So yeah, he had to go in for her. Um, but it was a small part, but he was in there. Um, he does a football routine. If you're online, maybe you could look it up on YouTube. Um, Rodney Dangerfield's ninth annual Young Comedian Special. He does a football routine. He puts on a red sweater and he puts balloons up so they look like shoulder pads. And he's like, first I'd like to show you to my grandmother. And he puts the balloons down his belly. He's like, some people think that's offensive, but if you saw my grandmother, you'd be like, oh, that's her. Then he puts them up here and he's like, oh, my dream girl. And then he moves them up shoulder to his shoulders. And he's like, my girl, my dream girl standing on her head. He's like, no, this is my football routine. Look like shoulder pads. And he comes out and is from the college all stars, Robert W. Wilson, Harvard University quarterback. Hiya, Muffy. Then he goes off, comes back, does a whole bunch. But if you look it up, it's funny. That's Bob Nelson. A Harpo-like jack of all trades and master of none, and Rocco Melanchek, Mel Smith, a cab driver moonlighting as a pool cleaner, liposuctioner, and toupee salesman. What ensues is an outrageous fall-down funny assault on culture and good taste as the brain donors make merry while driving everyone else mental. Also in the movie is Terry Copley. I'd recommend it if you can find it. I mean, sight gags, jokes. I think it's funny. I like it. So, I mean, if you are able to find it, I would suggest it. If you are unable to find it, I'm sorry. The next one is another kid movie, copyright 1984, Cloak and Dagger. I can't think of his name right now. 9 to 5. Why don't you read the book? Dabney Coleman. It stars Henry Thomas and Dabney Coleman. An Alan Carr production. I believe he produced Grease, didn't he? He was one of the producers of Grease. Music by Brian May. Screen story and screenplay by Tom Holland. Directed by Richard Franklin. Davy Osborne is an imaginative youngster who loves role-playing games and who often enlists the aid of his best friend, an imaginary super spy named Jack Flack, played by Dabney Coleman. One day, he witnesses a real murder of an FBI agent who passes a video game called Cloak and Dagger to him before he dies. When the police come, the body is gone and no one will believe him, including his father, Colonel Hal Osborne, also played by Dabney Coleman. Soon, Davy finds himself up to his neck in hairbreadth escapes, and real bullets and slam-bang action as the hitmen close in. Can Jack save him before time runs out? Cloak and Dagger stars Henry Thomas of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Dabney Coleman in a dual role of Jack and Davy's father, and Michael Murphy. few, I got to use my words. Few films in recent memory can top it for high-powered excitement and warm human emotions. Runtime is 1 hour 41 minutes. As I said, the date it was released was 1984. I saw it at the movie theater. Yeah, I'm 50, so. Brain Donors, of course. Runtime, I think it's like 85 minutes. 79 minutes. But Cloak and Dagger, part of it takes place in Texas due to the fact that I want to say he goes to the Alamo. I could be wrong on that. But I'd recommend it. Cloak and Dagger. Also, videotape. I don't know. I just William Forsythe was also in Cloak and Dagger. If I'm not mistaken, that was him. Trying to think who else may have been in whatever. Anyway, I like those two movies. They're two movies. I wanted to talk about movies today. Um, I hope all is well with you. I hope you're having a good morning or a good afternoon, good evening. Remember to stay hydrated. I've been refilling this with filtered water, so it's important to remember to when to drink water. When you wake up, when you first wake up, it's suggested 2 glasses of water, and that it helps your organs get back going to processing stuff. And I have to use the bathroom. You probably didn't really need to know that, but my stomach is like. I'm not sure if you heard it. Kind of like the chair when it goes into the chair. No. I am currently at 23 minutes. I'm gonna I'll stop now. So I do thank you for watching. I do hope you're having a good day. Please remember to be kind to each other. We're all going through shit. You figure with this thing going on now, it's like, hey, we're looking for something to be entertained by. Well, look at me juggle. I can do 4, but 2 in one hand. You know what I mean? I'm a little loopy. It's all right. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm not sure what this song really is. John Philip Sousa. Thanks for watching. I hope all is well with you. Take care.